I'm Marlow Artis, and I'm in Fayetteville for a very special conversation with Dr. Marvin Connelly, Jr., Superintendent of Cumberland County Schools. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Connelly.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really happy to be here with you in Cumberland County to talk about your tenure as superintendent, 7 years in this role. I know that it's been a time of celebration. You just finished your last round of graduation. You've also had some retirement celebrations to just really put a great stamp on your time here in the district. Dr. Connelly, what's going through your mind as you think about the fact that you're wrapping up your tenure here in Cumberland County?
Well, Marlo, I'm actually ambivalent about it, mixed emotions about it, I don't look at it as retirement so much as I do transitioning to a different angle, but remaining connected with the work in public schools. But I've had a blessed journey here in Cumberland County.
Absolutely. 7 years here in Cumberland County, but also 34 serving in North Carolina's public schools. I mean, a really exceptional career. So I want to go back, Dr. Connelly. Tell me about Marvin Connelly, Jr. as a student in Burke County.
Absolutely. As you're aware, I was raised in Burke County, North Carolina. Really came up. My family was a family of poverty, but we had values. And I didn't know that we were poor until I got to NC State University. And all those children had computers and all that. Because our parents taught us values, wholesome values. And we were grateful for what we had. But the Lord has blessed us. I'm grateful to my mom and dad who are going on to be with the Lord. But they instilled wholesome values in us in Burke County, a little small town called Marytown, which is in Valdez, North Carolina. And really, believe it or not, at East Burke High School, I was the school mascot.
The Cavalier.
Cavaliers.
Which is wonderful. So if Cooper needs a day off, you'll be able to fill in as the mascot. I mean, graduated in 1981 and had a lot of support there also from the educators.
Absolutely. Had a lot of support from the educators there. I actually did not initially apply for college. My counselor and my teachers filled out my college applications. And then they brought them to me and said, "You're going to college." I had been accepted to 4 major universities in North Carolina. And they said, "Where do you want to go?" And a lot of my friends were going to Carolina. They said, "You're accepted in Carolina." I said, "No, I'm not going there with all my friends." "You're accepted in NC State." "Okay, I'll do that." So I went to NC State. But I had phenomenal educators who poured into me, especially my favorite teacher of all time, Miss Clara Klein, who was my junior high math teacher. She challenged me, pushed me, and encouraged me.
And look where you turned out and how everything worked out for you. I mean, and that young man in Burke County now is superintendent of the 5th largest school system in our state. And Dr. Connelly, you were named superintendent of Cumberland County Schools on April 11, 2018. And I've got a short video I want to show you from that announcement.
Yeah, time has flown. Yeah.
So what do you think about, Dr. Connelly, when you think about that particular day? What do you remember from that day when you were named superintendent, sat in this very room and was named the new superintendent?
Well, Marlo, it was an awesome day for me. It was really the Lord showing me that He's true to His word. This has been a divine appointment here in Cumberland County. Never dreamed that I would be a superintendent, period, but the Lord knows the plans He has for us, and Jeremiah 29 verse 11, 12, and 13 are my life mantra. So I've just followed his plan, and I know the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. That was a wonderful day for me, and this has been a wonderful journey.
In 7 years. And so, Dr. Connelly, once you became superintendent, you had not been in that role before. You had been a senior leader in Wake County as the chief of staff and also focusing on strategic planning. How has the superintendency been different from the other roles that you've had in education?
It's certainly been different, but the main thing is I've been able to remain focused on the main thing, and that is student achievement. You have more of the micro political as well as the macro political issues that you have to navigate as a superintendent. But I'm a firm believer, as long as you keep focused on the students, then you'll be fine.
Yes, certainly have to have that student first mantra. Now, 7 months into your tenure, you received some life-changing news. You found out that you were diagnosed with stage 4 jaw cancer. Dr. Connelly, how did you maintain your optimism during that challenge?
Well, Marlow, I'm a man of faith, and I did ask the Lord, I said, Lord, what is this? Here I am at the top of my career and moving forward, and now this, and I can hear the Lord ringing in my ear. Do you trust me? Do you trust me? And yes, it was a dismal report. Matter of fact, 17-hour surgery, and they called my family in and said he probably will not survive. If he survives the surgery, he'll probably only live for 2 months. But I prayed, my family prayed, I'm still here, all because of the goodness of God.
That's right. 6 years later, and still, did you ever during that challenge? Because you were able to. How were you able to have the strength to continue serving as superintendent? Because you had a short time that you were off, but then you came right back to work.
Yeah, it's been all about my faith. I'm a believer. I don't sit around and mope and whine and complain. But I knew I had work to do, and I knew I had a divine assignment. And I kept reminding myself, the Lord would not have sent me on this assignment if He didn't expect me to finish it. So much like in there with Job and others, get up and do the Lord's work. I had no time to sit down and sit at home. I was on a mission to help improve student achievement, and I was bound and determined to fulfill my divine mission.
Here we are 7 years later. And then 2 years into your tenure, Dr. Connelly, we were all faced with a global pandemic. What was your approach to leading Cumberland County schools through COVID-19?
It was, again, a challenge, but an opportunity to learn and do some things different. And what really, even during the pandemic, although it had some challenges, what I continue to tell people is, if it's really important to us, we'll find a way to make it happen. When I came here, I wanted us to be a one-on-one district. And everybody said, no, we can't afford it. No, we're not able to do it. But in the pandemic, we did it in 2 days. So if it's important to you, you'll find a way to make it happen. So I said, let's not waste a good pandemic. Let's learn from it. And we learned a lot from the pandemic.
That's right. And really, your perseverance has been very inspiring to watch. I mean, I don't know of another superintendent who has handled so many different challenges and adversity with such grace and been able to continue to push forward and remain focused on the work at hand.
Yeah, I came here, as you said, in 2018. And in that year, we had a 100-year flood that wiped out a lot of the county. 2019, I had the battle with cancer. 2020, we had a global pandemic. 2021, we had racial unrest with the murder of George Floyd, who grew up here, and political unrest. And, again, we continue with political unrest and cultural wars and all that. But again, we have remained focus on what's best for students and protecting our 50,000 students and our 6,000 employees.
Absolutely. And when we return, we're going to talk about some of the successes that Dr. Connelly has had as superintendent of Cumberland County Schools, and they've been numerous, and we're going to unpack those. We'll be right back. Craven Early College High School. Together we raise the bar. Success is in our DNA. Robust and innovative learning opportunities are commonplace at Craven Early College High School. We raise the bar with core and supplemental instruction. The key to our success is our stellar team of premier professionals, boldly achieving results. Our community is committed to our success, and we are so grateful for the village that encamps us. We really are stronger together.
Because here you're getting more than just a step in college and in the right direction. You're learning life skills that you can take to the table at any job that you want to go to.
Craven Early College High School. Together we raise the bar. Conversation with Dr. Marvin Connelly, Jr., retiring superintendent of Cumberland County Schools. And Dr. Connelly, since you've been here in the district during your 7-year tenure, there have been a lot of success and a lot of things that have happened under your leadership. The percentage of schools that are meeting and exceeding growth has increased significantly from 63% to 84%. What does it take to really help schools to meet that necessary growth?
It takes a team that one is working together, rowing in the same direction, focus on ensuring that every student has access to a high-quality teacher in every classroom. We developed a strategic plan in 2019, focused on successful students, premier professionals, exceptional environment, and committed community. All 4 pillars of that strategic plan came together. Not only the school system, but the community working with us, and everybody rowing in the same direction. We have a phenomenal team here in Cumberland, from the classroom, the principals, central services, and our parents. And we have all worked together to help Cumberland not only survive, but thrive. So we say we're not just surviving, we're thriving. The graduation rate has improved to about 84%, continued to go up. And as you indicated, we reduced the number of low-performing schools from 27 down to 15. And of those 15, 11 of them met expected growth.
Which is really, not an easy feat, but it does take everybody working together and having that coordinated plan. And you all have been very intentional about your strategic plan and making sure it's embedded in all the things that are happening. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody in Cumberland County who can't actually recite those 4 pillars and know what they stand for, because it's so intentional how you all embed it. And also, Dr. Connelly, speaking of the, and I think this is very significant, also reducing the number of suspensions, going from almost 8,000 suspensions down to 5,600 because of an emphasis on restorative practices. How have you all really been able to help school leaders to make those changes in their schools, but with some alternatives to suspension with keeping kids in school?
Well, we believe that it's important for children to be in school. If they're not in school, they're not learning. And learning is important for us and critical. It's our main thing, main objective. and we want to keep the main thing. So yes, we develop restorative justice practices. Because we know that young people make mistakes, and we want them to learn from their mistakes, not just have punishment. They may not learn from the punishment, but restorative justice, gives them consequences, but also helps them unpack what they did wrong, what they might do differently. It's all about restoring young people.
Absolutely, not leaving anybody behind. And you're also not leaving parents behind. Whenever you first arrived in the district, there were about 67,000 parent engagement participation. Now it's over 105,000 in terms of this, really making sure that the parents are also really strong partners in this work.
Absolutely. Parent and community engagement is important as part of our strategic plan. We've been very intentional. We have expanded the size of our communications and community engagement department so we can reach parents, connect with parents, lead with parents, involve parents. We know that Dr. Karen Mapp out of Harvard University talks about parent involvement and parent engagement. We've learned from her work. Matter of fact, my dissertation was on that work. And Dr. Lindsay Whitley has led that team, and we've done phenomenal work here in Cumberland.
Absolutely. And also the community engagement as well. I mean, having 140 partners when you arrived, now over 1,200 partners in terms of really being intentional about making sure that the community is involved in the schools.
Absolutely. We have a committed community. Our businesses, our faith community, our organizations, they helped us write our strategic plan. We didn't write it in isolation, but we involved them so they feel a part of the plan and a part of the effort. They have ownership.
And what are some of your personal points of pride when you think about Cumberland County Schools and the things that y'all been able to do, whether it's in the schools, with the partners? What are some of the things that come to mind for you?
I believe our relationship with the community has improved significantly, and we're very proud of that community and parent engagement. We're proud of the fact that we have transitioned the district from being a system of schools to being a school system where we're all working on the same team.
And that's evident even looking at the graduation. I mean, seeing the elementary and middle school principals at the high school graduation, it's everybody being on the team to reach that particular marker, even those types of things. Now, Dr. Connelly, we know that as leaders, we have all kinds of ideas. What are some of the things that you have not been able to implement that you've thought about, but you just can't maybe because there's a variety of reasons why we're not always able to implement all the things that come to mind for us?
Well, I think the one thing is, I wanted to have 0 low performance schools according to the state classifications. We didn't get there, but we're well on our way. As long as we continue, we're headed in the right direction.
Absolutely. Certainly. And you were awarded for your success. And I know it is a team effort, but I'm going to highlight you for a second. Being named the 2024 A. Craig Phillips Superintendent of the Year. What did that mean for you after all of the adversity, all the challenges, all the success, all the partnerships? What did that mean when you were named Superintendent of the Year?
Well, when I was named Superintendent of the Year in 2024, it was a testament to our team here in Cumberland. I really believe in my heart that award was not just about me, but it was about our team. And it was recognizing the leadership that we have brought to the team. I'm trying to be a facilitative leader, and Maxwell talks about the 5 levels of leadership. And the pinnacle level 5, is about developing other leaders. So as a leader, I'm trying to develop other leaders, who embrace the mission, who do what the Bible says in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Write the vision, make it plain, and they will run with it. That's what we've done. We wrote the vision, the strategic plan, and the team took it and ran with it.
That's right, and be able to execute it. And Dr. Collins, let's talk about the leadership development. So when you came to Cumberland County, you had some strong people that were on your cabinet, but you also had to bring in some strong people. And then there have been transitions, people have retired, and then you still, what has been your strategy to maintain a strong cabinet?
One, we have developed leadership pipelines here in Cumberland. Teachers that want to be, TAs that want to be teachers, teachers that want to be assistant principals that want to be principals that want to lead as central services members that want to be superintendents. And we've been very intentional about developing leaders all along the way. So we have an internal pipeline, but also we have hired talent from the outside to bring a different set of eyes and thoughts onto the team. So we have hired the best and the brightest that the nation has to offer to be part of our leadership team.
And it's really important to have that good mix. Since you've been superintendent, you have appointed 60 principals, which is significant. What does it take in your perspective to be a strong school leader?
I think that a leader has to be, number one, know their why. Know why are they doing this. Not for fame, nor fortune, but for student achievement and improving student outcomes. The rest of it, the skills, we can teach you that. We can help you learn that. But the passion for student achievement has to be in your heart.
That's right. And then you've also had some central office appointments, 45, if you will. What is the difference in your perspective from school leadership and district leadership?
I think as a district leader, you have to have that systemic approach, a systemic mindset, systems approach. How does one decision affect the whole or affect others? And you can't just look at one school and the impact of a decision on one school, but you have to look at the impact of every decision on the entire district. And one thing I always tell all the leaders, school leaders, district leaders, we don't play favorites. We do what's right for everybody.
That's right. And it makes a big difference, and that keeps you on the straight and narrow. And Dr. Collins, we know across North Carolina we're seeing a lot of turnover with superintendents. What's your advice for aspiring superintendents, first-year superintendents? What do you share with them?
I believe that, again, you have to know your why. Why do you want to be a superintendent? And you have to come into it with a passion, remain focused on that passion, the why, you're not involved in it, and make sure that you leave a district better than you found it. Let your legacy be that you improve the district and improve outcomes for students.
And what does it take to have longevity? Because having 7 years, because you sat in that room for 7 years, you've seen some come and you've seen some go, and some people didn't make it beyond the first duration of the contract. What does it take to have that longevity in the superintendent suite?
Well, one, you have to have a team approach. You have to be a team with your board and all on the same page. Work with the board while the board focuses on vision and mission and values and beliefs, and the district focuses on administration. And all of you, the board and the administration, work together as a team, not against each other, but as a team. And everyone, the board, the superintendent, the staff, focus on what's in the best interest of students.
And never, ever forgetting that. Dr. Collins, what has the superintendent taught you about yourself?
It has taught me and reminded me really that I'm a resilient person, and reminded me what my mother taught me. Never, ever give up. Never, ever quit. And there have been several opportunities for me to quit, but I was determined to remain focused and never, ever give up. I remember as a little boy reciting a poem. I can't do everything, but I can do something. and that which I can do, by the help of God, I'm done to do. That's who I am. I'm a man of faith, and I trust God.
That's right, and don't give up. And you really have taught that lesson. And I told you, and I emailed you in December, and so many people have been watching, and it's just been such a great example of keep going and continuing to do the work that you're assigned to do, your divine assignment. Dr. Connelly, what are you going to miss most about being the superintendent of Cumberland County Schools?
I think seeing the success of the students and schools every day, every year, I'm going to miss visiting the schools, but as you know, I have 11 grandchildren and one on the way, so I look forward to spending time with them at their schools and supporting them in their extracurricular and co-curricular activities.
Wouldn't that be a treat to be at the school where Marvin Connelly is your volunteer?
Right, yeah.
That is wonderful. Dr. Connelly, for my last question, I want you to finish this statement. As superintendent of Cumberland County Schools, Dr. Marvin Connelly was.
As superintendent of Cumberland County Schools, Dr. Marvin Connelly Jr. was a servant leader, a facilitative leader, and a cheerleader for this district.
Absolutely. And now it's our time to cheer you on as you move into the next chapter. Dr. Connelly, we want to thank you for your service, not just here in Cumberland County. You had a long career in Wake County prior to coming to Cumberland County. In 34 years is significant. That is significant to have that legacy, and then you're going to keep running and keep contributing and keep serving.
I'm grateful for all the superintendents and leaders that poured into me in Wake County as well. I started as a teacher assistant in special ed, and all along my career, people believed in me and people supported me. Now as I close out my career, I'm grateful to God for all the opportunities I've been given to lead and to help make a difference in North Carolina.
Yes, and we're going to continue to watch as you take on your next chapter.
All right.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Connelly. We want to thank our audience so very much for watching. We'll see you next time on Tar Heel Teachers on the Road.